The South China Sea has long been one of the most contested waters on the planet. For years, the world watched as a global superpower, China, used its immense military might to bully its smaller neighbor, the Philippines. On paper, this was a David versus Goliath scenario, and everyone expected David to quietly give in. If you're interested in this topic, hit the like button, subscribe, and type interested in the comments, and I will give you a heart. But something incredible happened. Instead of surrendering, the Philippines chose a different path, one of patience, strategy, and pure intelligence. The world watched in disbelief as this smaller nation outsmarted a military giant, not through open conflict, but by using the power of international law and a shrewd diplomatic playbook. This is the incredible true story of how the Philippines is winning the biggest geopolitical chess match of our time. The first and most critical move the Philippines made was to turn to the power of international law. Most countries, when faced with a belligerent neighbor, would immediately rattle their sabers. But the Philippines, knowing it couldn't match China's military might, chose to fight on a different battlefield, a courtroom. In 2013, under President Benigno Aquino III, the Philippines formally lodged a legal case against China with the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague. This was an unprecedented move, and many thought it was a waste of time. China immediately declared it would not participate and would not recognize the outcome. But the Philippines knew this wasn't about China's acceptance. It was about exposing the truth to the entire world. It was about creating a historical record and a legal precedent that couldn't be erased. The case centered on China's audacious claim to nearly the entire South China Sea, a claim represented by its 9-dash line. The Philippines argued that this claim had no basis in international law and that China's actions, such as harassing Filipino fishermen and building artificial islands, violated the Philippines' sovereign rights under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS. The wait was long, but in July of 2016, the world received a shocking verdict. The tribunal ruled overwhelmingly in favor of the Philippines. It declared that China's 9-dash line claim had no legal foundation whatsoever. The court also determined that China's land reclamation projects had caused severe environmental damage and were an illegal violation of the Philippines' sovereign rights. It was a massive landmark victory. China, as promised, ignored the ruling, but it couldn't unmake it. The decision became a shield for the Philippines, a legal weapon that put China on the defensive and gave the rest of the world the legal justification it needed to side with Manila. This single legal move became a game changer. It wasn't about tanks or warships. It was about the power of an idea that international law and the rule of law should apply to everyone, regardless of their size or military strength. This historic win proved that principles can sometimes be mightier than brute force. By the way, if you're enjoying learning about this incredible story, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. It really helps this video reach more people who need to hear this message. The second brilliant move by the Philippines was to use its geographic location as a secret weapon. Positioned at the very heart of the Asia-Pacific, the country sits on some of the world's most critical sea routes. This isn't just a collection of islands, it's a strategic choke point that links the economies of East Asia to the rest of the world. For centuries, global powers have recognized the immense importance of these waters, and today, they're just as critical for global trade and security. Because the Philippines holds this anchor of stability, it makes its presence impossible to overlook. The thousands of islands that make up the country act as a natural defense system, a shield that no rival could ever easily control. This strategic geography brings international attention and support to the Philippines. Nations that depend on secure sea lanes, which is pretty much everyone, see the Philippines as a crucial partner. They understand that every ship that crosses these waters is a reminder of the vital role the Philippines plays in the global economy. Without firing a single shot, the land itself already stands as a quiet guardian, showing the world that exerting influence over the Philippines will never come easily. This geographic advantage is a silent but powerful asset, one that the Philippines has leveraged to build and strengthen its network of alliances. Have you subscribed yet? We're on a mission to uncover the stories that truly matter, and we'd love for you to join our community. Take a second to click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on what we're building here. Now, let's talk about the next key to the Philippines' success: strategic alliances with global powers. While many saw the Philippines as militarily weak, its leaders understood that true power lies not in standing alone, but in standing together with friends. The Philippines has revitalized its historic partnership with the United States, an alliance that is a game changer in the region. The Mutual Defense Treaty between the two nations means that an attack on the Philippines would be considered an attack on the United States, giving the Philippines a security shield far greater than its own military strength. But the Philippines didn't stop there. It expanded its web of alliances to include other key players who share its values. Countries like Japan and Australia have stepped up in a major way, providing defense cooperation, joint naval exercises, and intelligence sharing. Japan has even supplied Coast Guard vessels to help strengthen maritime security. By creating this global network, the Philippines has ensured that it's never truly alone. These alliances serve as a constant reminder to China that aggression against the Philippines won't go unanswered. This balance of power discourages escalation and makes rivals think twice before making a reckless move. What makes this so powerful is that the Philippines uses these alliances not for war, but for stability. By leaning on the support of these global powers, the country gains both protection and respect on the world stage. It's a testament to the idea that smart diplomacy can sometimes achieve more than sheer military might. The Philippines also employs a quiet but powerful diplomacy with its neighbors in the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN. Instead of facing China alone, the Philippines works with its neighbors to form a united front. While ASEAN isn't a military alliance, its collective influence in regional discussions carries a weight that no single country could achieve on its own. Through ASEAN platforms, the Philippines has been able to raise concerns about maritime disputes in a peaceful and structured way. This approach transforms a national problem into a shared regional responsibility, making it harder for China to isolate the Philippines. The Philippines' approach is not about provocation, but about building coalitions, fostering dialogue, and ensuring its voice is always amplified by the support of neighboring countries. This kind of diplomacy may not be dramatic, but it is highly effective in maintaining long-term peace and protecting national interests. The next time we come back, we're going to dive into the next chapter of this incredible story, including how the Philippines is using economic leverage and cutting-edge technology to stay one step ahead of a global superpower. Welcome back. In the first segment, we explored how the Philippines used international law, strategic geography, and alliances to outmaneuver a global superpower. But the story doesn't stop there. The Philippines has continued to play a master chess game, and its next moves have been nothing short of brilliant. One of the most powerful tools in the Philippines' arsenal is its growing economic strength and its ability to attract foreign investment. While China often uses its massive economy as a tool of influence and pressure, the Philippines has focused on building robust trade relationships with trusted partners around the world. By opening its doors to investments from the United States, Japan, South Korea, and European countries, the Philippines reduces its economic dependence on China, and in doing so, strengthens its own bargaining power. This strategy isn't just about money, it's about influence and security. Every foreign company that invests in the Philippines becomes a silent supporter of its stability and sovereignty. When factories are built, when technology is transferred, and when jobs are created, it sends a clear message to the world that the Philippines is a valuable partner worth protecting. Foreign investors are drawn to the Philippines because of its young workforce, its growing middle class, and its key position in Asia's supply chains. These factors give the country an economic resilience that makes it less vulnerable to pressure from Beijing. Instead of being cornered, the Philippines is learning how to use its economy as both a shield and a sword, ensuring that every partnership it builds adds another layer of security for its future. Another powerful way the Philippines has outsmarted China is through a strategy called assertive transparency. Every incident at sea is no longer hidden. Videos of water cannon attacks, photos of Chinese ships blocking Filipino boats, and stories from local fishermen are documented and shared immediately. This isn't just news, it's a strategic move that turns public opinion into a weapon. By shining a light on these events, the Philippines ensures that its struggle isn't fought in silence. Instead of allowing intimidation to stay in the shadows, the media exposes it to the eyes of the world. This creates immense international pressure on China and builds sympathy and support for the Filipino people. This global awareness also gives strength to Philippine diplomacy, as other nations see what is happening and understand the importance of keeping the sea open, free, and governed by international law. In this way, the media doesn't just tell stories, it becomes a tool of defense. It turns public opinion and international institutions into powerful shields that protect Philippine interests. This is a battle for hearts and minds, and the Philippines is winning. We're just getting started on this incredible journey. If you've made it this far, show us some love by hitting that thumbs up button. It lets us know we're on the right track and helps us share more stories that truly matter. One of the most strategic moves the Philippines has made is modernizing its military without showing aggression. Instead of trying to match China's massive forces, ship for ship or plane for plane, the Philippines has chosen a smarter path. It invests in defense systems that are specifically designed to strengthen its ability to protect its territory. It includes acquiring modern radar and surveillance technology, as well as coastal defense missiles. These upgrades may not look as dramatic as building a giant navy, but they are highly effective for the country's specific needs. This modernization is also supported by strong partnerships. The United States, Japan, and Australia have provided training, equipment, and intelligence sharing that give the Philippines an edge without the need to act offensively. By focusing on defense rather than attack, the country avoids escalating tensions while quietly improving its ability to respond when necessary. The message is clear. The Philippines doesn't seek war, but it refuses to be weak. Its modernization strategy shows wisdom, using resources carefully while making every step count. This way, the country ensures that even without matching China's scale, it remains prepared, strong, and respected on the global stage. We're working hard to bring you these stories. If you haven't yet, please take a second to hit that subscribe button. It's a small action that makes a huge difference and helps us keep this channel going. In this story of how the Philippines outsmarted China, the courage of ordinary fishermen plays a powerful role. These men sail into disputed waters not with weapons, but with their small boats, and a determination to earn a living for their families. Their daily presence in the West Philippine Sea is more than just survival. It's a silent act of defiance that says, these waters belong to the Philippines. China may send Coast Guard ships and large vessels to intimidate them, but Filipino fishermen continue to return again and again. Every trip they make becomes evidence that the Philippines using its seas in a normal and rightful way. This strengthens the country's legal claims under international law, showing the world that Filipinos aren't abandoning what's theirs. What makes this even more powerful is that these fishermen aren't soldiers, yet they stand on the front lines of national pride and sovereignty. Their bravery has drawn global attention and sympathy. It reminds everyone that defending the nation isn't only about weapons and armies, but also about the courage of citizens who refuse to be pushed away from their own waters. Another clever way the Philippines has managed to outsmart a much larger rival is through the use of advanced technology and surveillance. Instead of meeting power with power, the country invests in information, monitoring, and intelligence that allow it to stay one step ahead. Satellites, maritime radars, and patrol drones give real-time updates on activities in disputed waters. This information strengthens legal cases, supports diplomatic talks, and exposes violations to the international community. By carefully tracking every movement, the Philippines creates a transparency that China can't easily hide from. When evidence is presented, the world listens. This approach shows that knowledge can be just as powerful as weapons. It allows the country to avoid direct conflict while still protecting its interests. Through modern surveillance and data gathering, the Philippines proves that a smart strategy can balance the scales. The next time you see footage of a Filipino boat getting water cannoned, remember what you've learned today. This is a story of resilience, not defeat. And we'll be back with the final chapter, where we'll talk about the most important lesson of all, how a nation's spirit can be its ultimate weapon. Welcome back, and thank you for sticking with us. In our final segment, we're going to get to the heart of what makes this story so powerful. We've talked about international law, strategic alliances, and even technology, but at the core of how the Philippines is outsmarting a superpower is something much more profound: the unshakable spirit of the Filipino people. For centuries, Filipinos have faced colonizers, natural disasters, and economic challenges, yet they never lost their will to endure and rise again. That same determination lives on today in the fight to protect their seas and sovereignty. It's a national character built on resilience, unity, and an unyielding belief in what's right. But ordinary citizens show this strength every single day. Fishermen continue to sail into contested waters despite intimidation. Communities raise their voices in defense of national rights. Students, professionals, and overseas Filipinos use their platforms to spread awareness and call for unity. Each act, no matter how small, becomes part of a bigger shield that keeps the country strong. The Filipino spirit isn't about aggression, but about a quiet, powerful resistance. It's a reminder to the world that even when facing a much larger power, a people bound by courage and love for their land can't be easily defeated. This spirit inspires leaders, strengthens alliances, and gives the nation the confidence to stand tall without firing a single shot. Hey, before we move on, if you haven't done it yet, please click that thumbs up button. It helps us get this message out to more people, and we truly appreciate your support. This story also extends to the global community. The support the Philippines receives from powers beyond just the United States is another crucial factor. Countries like Japan, Australia, and members of the European Union have shown strong backing for the Philippines through defense cooperation, joint naval exercises, and diplomatic statements. These nations recognize that the South China Sea isn't only about territory, but also about the freedom of navigation that connects global trade. Japan has provided Coast Guard vessels and training to strengthen maritime security. Australia continues to conduct freedom of navigation patrols and supports regional stability through defense agreements. European powers, including France and the United Kingdom, have also expressed their commitment by sending ships to the region as a sign of solidarity. This global backing shows that the Philippines isn't standing alone. It's part of a wider community that values peace and order, with multiple countries watching closely and lending their support. China faces greater pressure. This united stance makes it harder for aggressive actions to go unnoticed. By gaining friends beyond its main ally, the Philippines has built a strong network of partners who help ensure that international law and fair practices are respected. Remember, we're almost at the end of this journey. For a channel like ours, every subscriber is a huge deal. If you haven't joined our community yet, please hit that subscribe button right now. Your support truly matters. The greatest strength of the Philippines in this long struggle is its ability to win without fighting. Instead of meeting aggression with violence, the country has used strategy, diplomacy, and unity to achieve results that weapons alone couldn't. This approach has protected lives, kept the peace, and shown the world that a nation doesn't have to match military power to stand tall. By relying on international law, alliances, and the courage of its people, the Philippines has turned pressure into opportunity. Every time its sovereignty is challenged, the nation answers not with fear, but with resilience and determination. This is a victory that goes beyond just territory, because it proves that true power is found in patience, wisdom, and collective strength. In many ways, the Philippines has already won. It has outsmarted its rival not through force, but through principles that inspire global respect. By holding firm, building friendships, and staying united, the country has proven that battles can be won without a single shot being fired. This story is a lesson for every nation, big or small. Bravery isn't measured by the size of your army, but by the courage to defend what is right. If this story resonated with you and you learned something new, make sure you've liked this video, subscribed to the channel, and turned on the notification bell. Share this with your friends and family, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice is a huge part of this community, and we want to hear from you.